All right, welcome back for day 21 of the 66-day challenge on how to have a productive business in real estate. So, day 21, we are now at ranking our activities. Okay, why is this important? Is because we have done 20 different categories before this one. We have results, we're tracking numbers, we got platforms, we got all kinds of stuff. Everybody's busy. By now, you should definitely have a support staff, whether it's an admin, transaction coordinator, and you should definitely at least have two agents on the buying side and maybe a listing specialist or an ISA. All right. What that means is, remember how we did the whole business plan of when we're going to hire all the activities in real estate? Well, now it's all spread apart, but there's also been activities that have been added in there that we weren't doing before. So what we need to do is protect our time. Protecting our time. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we need to do is go back to that activity that we did before. So start off with you. And then what you're going to do is when you do your evaluations with your transaction coordinator and also your buyer specialist and your showing agent and your ISA, you're going to do the same thing, but do you first, okay? So what you want to do is you want to create four columns going across. $1 sign, $2 signs, $3 signs, and then $4 signs. Each activity represents the money that you're making in. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 4, making the most money here. On a scale of 1 to 4, 1, you're making the least amount. You're not making anything on that. Okay, so what you need to do is write down what your activities are. Now, what I suggest, just like I said before, when you're doing your hire, you're writing down all your activities that you're doing, so this way you can hire the right person for the right job. You're going to write down what you're doing for the next probably 30 days. You don't have to do that long, probably about maybe 3 weeks of your activities. And from then, you're going to classify which goes where. So let's take your $4 signs first. Okay, so these are, believe it or not, these are lead generation. It could be listing appointments. It could be anything that is very, very important to you. You can even add in working out. Your health is probably the most important thing that you should be doing. Put that in there. These are things that you want and have to be doing. Okay? So let's go to category $3 signs. Believe it or not, and this shocks everybody, settlements. Settlements is good, but it's not 4 stars. It's not $4 signs. A settlement is from a 4-star activity or $4 sign activity that I did. A listing appointment, got it under contract. A buyer's deal, got it under contract. They're $4 signs, not settlement. Settlement's the end result of what you did a month ago, 2 months ago. Okay? So, but it's still important. So that's why it's in the $3 range. Okay. How about returning all phone calls? If I have a voicemail that says, yes, you've reached the Mike Fitzpatrick team, probably with a client right now, please leave your name and number, and I promise your phone call will be returned today. Well, that's important. I don't care who it is. That should go in the $3 sign section. All right, so then we come up to the $2 sign section. What's possibly in there? Can it be training? It all depends on what brings you in money. Okay, and you're going to classify that in there. And believe it or not, your largest column that you're going to have is the $1 one. And these are the stuff that, when we have 100% of what we do in real estate, putting properties on the MLS, going on listing appointments, researching numbers, marketing, blah, blah, blah. When we get to the point where we have a team and we have support staff, we are going to take 60% of that stuff that we don't make any money off it, but it has to be done. This is to-do work. And I'm going to give it to somebody else to do who can do it better. Well, now we have our 40% that is definitely making us money, but we're taking that 60% and trying to duplicate that 40. We're trying to do more of those activities. That's what this is right now. We're now taking that 100% of what you're doing and seeing what we can take off and maybe put into that $1 category. It still has to be done. It's still important, but maybe we can give it to somebody else. Or maybe we can condense all that into 1 hour or 30 minutes a day. Okay? You got to remember, to the person that everything has to be done in one day, they have a to-do list this long, right? That's not a success list. A success list is achieving the top 3 things that are going to get you to your end goal each year. So when you're doing your 411, you know what your year goals are. You should be accomplishing 3 things a day. Okay? But these people have a laundry list of 20 things. That's what I'm trying to get at. You got to take out those 17 items and categorize them. But when you get to that $, you have to say, you're not worth 3 hours of my day. You're not worth 2 hours of my day. Matter of fact, you're only worth 30 minutes, or you're not even on my schedule. I'm getting somebody to do you. Emails. I used to be a big fan of opening emails. My staff does it. If it's anything important, they would have called me. They would have texted me. If it's an email that's important, I have somebody that's going to be reviewing my emails all day. Why do I need to do it? Social media. Do I check my social media? Maybe once every couple hours. We have a staff that does that. And if there's anything important, like a lead comes in, or there's an important question, or there's an issue, they notify us. So protect your time, but create yourself what you want to do from this. You want to create a 3-hour workday. How awesome would that be? So right now, and this is not bragging, but this took time, but my day consists of getting up at 5:30, reflecting on what I'm going to do that day, not just business-wise. I want to get myself in a good spiritual place, and then I'm going to go work out, and then I'm going to take a nice shower. I'm going to get something to eat, and then my day, believe it or not, starts at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I plan my day of what I want to achieve, but I'll have that the night before. I'm just, re-going over it, replanning it, making sure I'm ready to go. I start my day with phone calls for about maybe 20, 30 minutes. And then by 10:15, I'm reaching out to my staff, my daily meeting for about 15 minutes. They now have their to-do list or their success list. And then I go back into my lead generating, call on my database or whoever I'm supposed to be talking to, whether it's a new recruit, coaching student, whatever. But by 12 o'clock, I am now done. I am now done my lead generating. Now, I still have appointments. I have appointments at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I space them out. But I never schedule a settlement early in the morning. I always protect my time. Because now, when my team gets busier, I can now focus on more family time. I now have more flexibility in my schedule from after 12 o'clock on. And this is because of the exercise that I started with the $4 signs, the $3 signs, the $2 signs, and the 1. You just don't want to imitate somebody else's, copy somebody else's, because you never want to judge a book by its cover. You never want to compare someone's outsides to your insides. So what may be important to me may not be important to you. But the biggest thing I had to overcome, that everything was important. And I learned really fast that if something is due 14 days from now, it's not as important as something that's going to be due tomorrow. But that thing that is due in 14 days, that'll slowly become important in about 13 days, and you have one more day to get it in. Then it's going to become really important. Then it moves up on the priorities list. So I'm not saying procrastinate, but I'm saying prioritize. And don't forget to use leverage, especially if you have a team. You have a transaction coordinator, let them do all that work. You have an admin, let them do all that work, those responsibilities. You have a buyer specialist, let them handle that end. If you have a listing specialist, have that end. Well, Mike, I'm giving everything out. I was like, no, you're not. You need to grow the business. Because an individual agent, they're doing everything. They're doing the paperwork. They're putting the property in the MLS. They're putting it under contract. They're doing they're doing the marketing. They're answering their emails. But imagine if you're only, and then 10% of that is to grow the business. Well, I gotta start hiring people. Well, why not start right there? Have your organization chart, have everybody's, all their all the job requirements ready to go. And then imagine 60 to 90% of your day is nothing but growing your business, looking for passive income, and going out there doing charity events or giving back or do public speaking or do something that you want to do that you didn't think of. I know so many people that have gotten into real estate, and within their first 3 years, they were coaches. Within the next 3 years, they were team leads. Within the next 3 years, they were owning their own business. Within the next 3 years, they did an expansion. They have 3 different offices in different locations that they don't even manage. They have rental properties. They have commercial properties. But you know what the sad thing is? I know people that have been in the industry 30 years and they're doing the same thing that they're doing 30 years ago. No growth. Hey, as long as they're happy, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks. But if your goal, and that's why it's important to have 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year goals. You always want to better yourself. Okay. What makes you happy? Okay. We always practice from September to November on our business plan. We go to Gene Rivers every single year. And by the end of November or the middle of December, we know what our commitments are individually for next year. And once we get everyone's individual commitments of what they want to achieve by next year, now we can create the team commitments. And so this way, the whole team focuses on nothing but that. But to do that the efficient way, you have to do the right activities, okay? If I'm on a baseball team, there's 9 positions. There's first base, second base, third base, shortstop, catcher, pitcher, right field, center field, and left field, okay? If somebody hits a grounder, are they throwing at the third? Well, only if somebody's on second, if they're running there. But the main play is to focus. If there's nobody on base and there's a grounder, first base, you know? If a foul ball's hit right over home plate, is a second baseman going to come in and get that fly ball? No, the catcher's got it. That's his position. That's his area. He's responsible for that. So on a team, everyone's position is important, because if I take someone's position out of the outfield, I'm hurting right now. I have weak spots out there. Something can fall through. Same thing with real estate. If I don't have the right person in the transaction coordinator position and they're not monitoring our deal, they're not, they haven't followed up on the title commitment or the mortgage commitment, that could hurt us at settlement. Okay? So all the players are important. All the cogs, all your items, your tasks, your to-dos are important. But you have to focus on the stuff that's most important to you, and that's where the $4 signs are. Okay, so I hope this helps today. Again, I'm going to recap this. You want to rate your activities. Okay, so this is going to mean something different for everyone, because you could be doing, you could be a new agent. You can be an agent that's a year in, that's only probably doing about 4 to 7 deals. You could be a 5-year seasoned agent that's doing probably about 20 to 40 deals. You can be an agent who's doing 50 plus deals and starting a team. Your activities are going to change. That's if you allow it. One of the things that was also holding me back is that I was micromanaging everybody. And I saw how much time it wasted, how much time it took for my family. But the biggest thing was the person that I had in that position did not believe that I thought they were the right person for that job, because me, indirectly, not knowing what I was doing, but they thought I was second guessing them. Where here, it was me being a compulsive person thinking that you're not doing it fast enough. You're not doing it more efficient. And you got to take yourself out of the equation. Okay? So again, ranking activities, $4 signs for the stuff that you have to do every day. If you had the perfect real estate world, what are the activities I'm doing? And then you have to realize, what are the $3 signs? Of them, which ones am I doing? Which ones am I delegating? The $2 signs, you should be delegating 60% of them out. Okay, and that should be a very, very small category. But the one large category, like again, is that $1 sign. And 80% of that, I'm hoping 100%, but 80% of that should be delegated out. You should not be doing it. You should only be doing $4 sign and $3 sign items. All right, guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Again, Mike Fitzpatrick team. If you have any questions on real estate, coaching, title, mortgage, give us a shout. 267-549-2505. Thanks again.